Good morning. Let me get my computer synced up over here to the Facebook page so I can see what y'all are saying. And we'll give everybody a chance to join us. Okay, here we go. And I need to turn off this chat right here. Good morning, Phyllis and Dina and Kitty and everybody that's coming in. As you can see, just bumped the table. I have on no makeup today because I just finished my day 2 of the Couch to 5K. So you got me in the rough today, and I'm still winded because I literally just got off the treadmill. I'm also doing Barbara with her sweaty selfies after the spin cycle at night. Inspired me, so this weekend while we were out doing some Christmas shopping, my husband and I decided that we don't really do big Christmas gifts for each other because we don't need anything, and you know, it's just we both would much rather spend that money on gifts for our kids and grandkids. But so anyway, we were at Academy and we bought a exercise bicycle. And so we like to watch about an hour of TV at night. We binge watch. We find series that we like, and so we'll watch, several episodes at a time. But so we decided that our 1 hour of TV at night has to be in the workout room at home, and either he'll be on the bike or I'll be on the bike, and the other will be on the treadmill or doing weights or something, and we'll swap and do that. So anyway, enough of that. That's my rambling for the morning. I'm going to give you my quick little announcements first and get those out of the way. And I'm going to, y'all bear with me a minute. My laptop is too high and I'm short, so I can't see. So let me lower it and see if that helps any. Okay, much better. Let me get the announcements out of the way so we can talk. There is a pinned post, which means it's at the very top of the page if you go online to the Weight Watchers Over 50 Facebook group. And it's about the cruise that some of the members have put together for next May. It is not a Weight Watchers cruise. I saw yesterday where some folks were asking questions like, will there be Weight Watchers meals and that kind of thing. This is not a cruise by Weight Watchers Corporation, International, whatever. This is a meet and greet. Some of our members decided to do a cruise to have a chance to meet up with each other, and that's what this is. So it is not endorsed by Weight Watchers at all. So will there be Weight Watchers approved foods? Well, there will be opportunities to eat a good, clean Weight Watchers meal, but that choice is going to be up to you, which will kind of lead a little bit into our subject for the day. But I'm planning to be there, and I hope to get the opportunity to meet several of you. I also hope to prove that you can do a cruise like this and stay on plan. So if I'm there and you see me eating, that's my plan. So and maybe I'll journal or share online every day what my food choices are. Maybe that'll help hold me a little bit more accountable. Let me get another drink. Hang on. Man, that Couch to 5K is kicking my... I've only done day 2, but I'm determined to see this through. Anyway, so if you are interested in the cruise, I think it is open now for registration. So go to the pinned post, and there's a link where you can call the folks that they have set it up with and get your cabin reserved. If you want to go and you're alone and you need a buddy, then let's see if we can find you one. Surely there's a few people that would be interested in sharing, because obviously the more people in a room, the cheaper the cost is. T-shirts. Again, not Weight Watchers t-shirts. These are shirts that our members have put together, and we we posted, I've lost count of how many times we posted about the shirts. It was the pinned post for a couple of weeks, and still several of you weren't aware of it for whatever reason, didn't see it. So Ellen, one of our moderators, who was kind enough to do this for us, started another series. And so if you go to the events section of the group, you'll see information on that. And I believe that's available to order through the 9th, maybe? I need to double check. If Ellen's on or if somebody's on, let me know, and I'll clarify that. I don't know when they'll do another one. I don't do these. I'm not in charge of it, so don't yell at me. But if you want a shirt to wear to your meetings, or just to wear out in public, or just to wear in general to exercise in or something, those are available. We don't control what sizes the company offers. So if they don't offer your size, we're terribly sorry, but we can only go with what the company has available. So that's that. Upcoming Weight Watchers changes. This is a very, a very emotional subject. So many people get up in arms, get their feelings hurt, and get anxious about it. Now, I understand that we get into our routine, and so anything that's going to change that makes us a little anxious. I do understand that. Just as I said online last night, please understand that there are many Weight Watchers employees in our group, and we are not permitted by Weight Watchers to go into any detail about anything that Weight Watchers wants to share with its membership until we're given the green light to do so. And so we haven't been limiting the discussions about the upcoming changes just to be mean, or just to be powerful or anything like that. We can't discuss it yet. When we can, we will discuss it in great length. Now you're asking, when can we? Sunday. Next Sunday, December 3rd, the changes to the plan will be general knowledge to the public, and so then we can start discussing it at length, and we'll go into great detail, and we'll have a wonderful time sharing with each other and having some suggestions and some ideas. So please just be patient one more week, and it will just make all of our lives so much easier. There's not really anything to discuss yet. We don't know what the details are, and so it would just be speculation, and some of it would be right and some of it would not be right, and we don't want to mislead anyone. So let's just be patient and wait until we have all of the information, and then we'll all discuss it and we'll all be on the same page. Deal? Deal. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Okay. We're past Thanksgiving. The holiday is over. The damage is done. If you had damage, if you spent time with your family and enjoyed it, then, cherish those memories. But you can't go back and undo any damage that you did. You can't change any decisions that you made. So let's close that chapter and let's move forward. Beating ourselves up over decisions that we made, or maybe foods that we ate that we didn't intend to, or maybe we indulged a little bit too much. It's yesterday, and there's nothing you can do about it. Whether you maintained your weight, whether you gained a couple of ounces, or you may be one of the folks that said it was way worse than I thought it was going to be, and I got on the scale and I'm up 5 pounds. Okay, well, you're up 5 pounds. So it is what it is. Let's just own it and move forward. If you're really in this for lifestyle, then it's not like it has set you back on your race. It's just, you just need to adjust and move on. So, thinking about that yesterday, reading some of the posts, I just decided it's time to talk about willpower. We're all guilty of saying from time to time, I don't have any willpower. I can't control what I eat. The cookies were calling my name, or, the leftover dressing or whatever. Somebody posted a little cartoon meme the other day, and it was cute, sort of, but it said, I don't need a personal trainer as much as I need somebody to walk around with me and slap the food out of my hands. Well, that's not realistic. It's not going to happen. And while it's cute, there's a lot of truth in that we get that in our head, that I don't have the ability to control what is in my hand that I put in my mouth. And that's just not true. Nobody can control that but you. Nobody put that cookie in your hand, and it's not anyone else's responsibility to take it out of your hand. We all have to accept responsibility for our own decisions. Whether we call it willpower or responsibility, it's the same thing. The definition, y'all know I'm a word freak, and the definition of willpower, I found two. One is determination, and the other one is, and this is the tough one, the other one is self-control. It's up to me. I have to own it. I have to be responsible. I remember, and I hope you can relate to this, most of you probably can, when my kids were babies, the doctor told us when we brought them home from the hospital to feed them every, I think it was this years ago, but I'm pretty sure it was every 4 hours. A certain amount of milk every 4 hours. And I learned quickly with my first baby that after about 3.5 hours, he started beginning to get hungry, and he would get cranky, and he would get fussy, and would start whining and wanting, he just knew, he was an infant, but he just knew that it was almost time for him to eat. And so as a new mother, I didn't want him to fuss and be uncomfortable. So the minute he started crying and fussing, I would put a bottle in his mouth. And before I knew it, he was completely off schedule. And so I took him back for his checkup, and he had gained a little bit too much weight, according to the pediatrician. And so the doctor asked me, how often are you feeding him? And I said, I basically feed him when he starts getting fussy. And he said, he doesn't have the ability yet to control his own schedule. He's relying on you to do that. And he may fuss because his stomach is beginning to tell him that it's almost time to eat, but you have to be the one to tell him, not yet. So I had to learn to do that. And it was a little bit tough, to listen to him cry, but eventually his body got on that every 4-hour schedule. We need to learn to do that with ourselves. Our stomach may start to rumble a little bit, but if it's not time to eat, it's okay to be a little bit hungry. It's okay to tell ourselves no. If you have food in your house that you just can't stop eating, you don't need to have that food in your house. If it's leftovers from Thanksgiving, get rid of them. If you can't throw them away, then give them away. Send them home with somebody. Take them to the office and let everybody know there's leftovers in the refrigerator. Help yourself. Do something, but don't set yourself up for failure by having food there that you have difficulty saying no to. Lack of willpower is the number one reason for people not following through on the promises they make themselves. Agreed? It is for me, but it's going to be hard. Reaching your Weight Watchers goal, there are going to be days that it's hard. There will be days that it's easy, but I think the hard days get farther and farther apart the more we exercise willpower. Willpower is just telling yourself no. Sometimes I can't do it for you. I would love to be able to go on the Facebook group and say, there are chocolate chip cookies in my house and they're calling my name and I really, really am struggling with eating them. Help. What can you do? You can talk to me, and we want to do that. We want to be there for you, but I'm the only one who can say no to those chocolate chip cookies. So while I want to be here to support you and the other members want to be here to support you, you have to take ownership in your decision. You have to exercise willpower. And the more you exercise it, it's like a muscle. The stronger it gets and the easier it will be for you to say no. Why do you think that is? I think it's because when you start seeing the results of your decisions, then it's easier to make that decision and follow through. When I was still, almost 60 pounds overweight, saying no to those chocolate chip cookies was much harder because I couldn't see where it was going to make any difference in how my clothes fit or how I looked or how out of breath I was trying to walk across the shopping center. But now that I feel better, I have more energy. I like the way I look in my clothes much better than I used to. It's much easier for me to say no because I don't want to go back to that. So make a list if you need to of the foods that are triggers for you that you just have difficulty saying no to, and don't allow those foods in your house. If chocolate chip cookies are tough, don't bring them in. If a particular kind of candy is hard for you, don't let yourself buy that candy. If there's someone in your house that brings it in, have a conversation with them and explain to them how hard it is for you to have that around. Ask for their help. If they're not willing to help, then, that's a tough one. I admit my husband's very supportive, so I don't have that problem, and I'm very thankful for that. But even still, you have to have ownership in what goes into your body. So avoid temptation. Another big one is plan ahead. If I know exactly what I'm going to have for breakfast and lunch today, then I'm not so tempted to eat, at the drive-thru because I brought my breakfast with me. Lunch, I have packed. I know exactly what I'm going to eat for lunch, so I don't have a difficult decision saying no when my coworkers want to go out to eat because they know that I bring my lunch, and so I know what I'm going to eat, and I don't have to exercise willpower because the decision's already made for me. So plan ahead. Remember, it's your hand. You choose what goes into your hand, and then you choose what goes into your mouth. That choice is only yours, so own it. A good rule that, or a good little maybe thing to remember is if I eat this, then I'm going to feel that. If I make this choice now, then the result will be. So when you're faced with a food decision, maybe do that. If I give in and I eat this food that's calling my name, then I'm going to feel. And if that's a positive, okay. There are times that it's okay to let yourself have, an indulgence in something, but most of the time it's not. So if the then is going to be a positive, go with it. If your then is going to be a negative, don't do it. Don't set yourself up for that. So that's my encouragement to you this week. I hope it helps. I know it feels like tough love, and I know you may be sitting there thinking that's easy for you to say. You don't have, X number of pounds to lose. And you're right, I don't, but I did. And I know how hard it is. I know there's a lot of baking that's going to be going on this time of year, but you don't have to bake everything that you can think of. And you don't have to eat everything you bake. And you don't have to be the person that provides the whole office with all of the sweets that they can imagine. They'll still like you if you don't. They may be disappointed, but how about look at it this way? Maybe there's somebody in your office that's really struggling with their weight and they haven't told anyone. And by you not providing the break room with thousands of calories of treats, you may be silently helping that person. So, just maybe dial it down, curb it a little bit. You can still take one or two things, but you don't have to take everything. And if you are going to bake and that's your thing, that's great, but don't eat it. Give it away. Get it out of your house. Use rubber gloves if you have to handle the food. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, keep a bottle of mouthwash on your kitchen counter. And when you start getting the urge to eat one of those cookies, put mouthwash in your mouth, and that cookie won't taste good. I guarantee you. Mouthwash has gotten me out of a whole bunch of temptation moments. So do whatever you can that works for you. Let me look at your messages and let's see what you have to say. Carrie says she didn't know until last December it was possible to make cookies and not eat any. I know, right? It is, though. I made 6 pies for Thanksgiving for my family, and I didn't have to eat all of it. I also learned that just because the pie is cut into 6 slices doesn't mean I have to eat an entire 1/6 of the pie. I can just take a bite or two off of it. It's okay. Somebody else will eat what you didn't eat. That's all right. Deb says, I live it. I've lost 134 pounds. It can be done. Absolutely, it can. There's nothing special about others that, Weight Watchers didn't give them something they didn't give, they didn't get something from Weight Watchers that you weren't given. We all have the same tools. Stacy says, I can have what I want. I just make them healthy. Modify your recipes. I have a couple of recipes that call for brown sugar, and I use brown sugar Splenda. It's not calorie free, but it took out some of the calories out of it. So the places that I can make a little bit of a difference, I try to make a little bit of a difference, and it helps them without them really knowing about it, but it really helps me. I don't even buy real sugar anymore, except I bought some for Thanksgiving to make the coconut pie for my husband, and then it went back into the pantry, and it won't come out again for a long time. Good morning from Ireland. That's awesome. It's probably not morning to you, though, is it? I'm guessing it's about 3:20 in the afternoon. Is that right? My daughter lives in Scotland, so I have to remember that she's several hours ahead of me. And so anyway, Norma says she's forgiving herself for her gain. You have to. You have to forgive yourself, and you have to move on. If you dwell on it and beat yourself up, you'll beat yourself down, and you'll get so discouraged you'll just quit trying. It is what it is. This is a lifestyle, so there are going to be gains along the way. Just as you're going to have weeks that you lose big, you're going to have weeks that you gain, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human. And I said, recently, we're not winners and losers. We're learners, and we have to learn from the good just as much as we learn from the bad. And so we just adjust our sails and move on. It's just a tool. I led some meetings Saturday, which was just right after Thanksgiving, and I was sharing with them that the scale is just a measurement of what your body weighs at that particular moment. It doesn't define you. You may weigh at 8 o'clock in the morning and weigh one thing, and at 9 o'clock you'll weigh an entirely different number. So which one of those is you? Is it the first one or the second one? See, it doesn't matter. It's just a tool. And so you should look at your, if you're going to measure whether or not your week was a success, don't use that number as your tool. Use, did I make good choices the majority of the time? Did I follow through on my plans? Do I feel good about the progress I made overall? And if the answer to those is yes, then your week was a success, not whether or not you lost on the scale. Obviously, we all want to lose weight, and we will. Eventually, the weight will come off. If you do the other 3 things and can answer yes to those, the weight is going to come off. It's just not going to do it every day, and it's not even going to do it every week. But again, did I make good choices? Did I follow through on my plans? And do I feel good about the progress I made as a person this week? Those should be the tools that we use to measure our success as a person and as a Weight Watchers. So I encourage you to look at those more than you look at the scale. Do I weigh? Absolutely. Do I encourage you to weigh after Thanksgiving? Yes, I do. There are people who don't weigh and they're not going to, and that's great. But I weigh because it holds me accountable to myself. It doesn't define me, but it holds me accountable. So if you're asking me, my answer is going to be yes. Get on the scale, own up to whatever damage you may have done to that number over the holiday weekend, and move on. Finally, there are a few people that we did the holiday gift card exchange, and several of you have shared with us that you have not received yours. If you participated in that exchange and you have not mailed yours, please get those in the mail. Somebody is a little disappointed that they haven't received one yet. I know, things happen and life gets in the way, but please follow through on that. If you did receive one, reach out to the person who sent it and let them know that you got it. That's just a courteous thing to do, and everyone wants to make sure that theirs didn't get lost in the mail. So I ask that you follow through on that. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Just 6 more days, and we will be excited to reveal all of the little tweaks that Weight Watchers is bringing to our Smart Points plan. I'm incredibly excited about them. I know you're going to be. Don't be anxious. This is not going to be anything that's going to derail you. This is just some changes that are being made to make this easier for you, and I really believe that you're going to be excited about the changes that are coming up. We can't discuss them until then, but just don't panic. Everything's going to be fine. It's going to be good. We've trusted Weight Watchers with our weight so far, so let's continue trusting them. They are tried and true. They're a wonderful company, and they really do have our best interest at heart. I believe that, or I wouldn't be working for them, and I wouldn't be promoting them. And I did that and started this group before I went to work for Weight Watchers, so that has nothing to do with the fact that they're now giving me the honor and the privilege of leading some meetings, which I really enjoy doing. So I encourage you to do your best this week. Make your plans, write it down, and follow through on it. Be true to yourself, and you'll have you to thank. You won't have anybody who walked along behind you and slapped food out of your hand. You'll have you to thank, and you'll be happy that you did. So be kind to each other, be supportive of each other as you usually are, and I will see you on the board. Have a great week. Bye.